The BBC soap opera Doctors introduced a bigoted character to their show to try and show audiences how unpleasant these bigots are. I actually quite like him. Let's take a look at the clip where the scriptwriters are clearly trying to show fans of doctors why they should use people's pronouns. He seems to be completely correct. I mean, pronouns are getting in the way of proper medical treatment. If I tell a doctor that I'm a woman, they're not going to expect me to have testicles. They're going to think I'm going to have ovaries. This isn't entertainment. It's political activism, and it's really clunky political activism. I'm talking about doctors, of course, not this show. Now, I mean, what do you make of this? I see them do this on TV shows and films all the time. They try and crowbar in some sort of social justice message.
They actually just looked like a gay couple having a barney at work. That really was the bottom line, wasn't it? Because what you didn't get in the outtakes was, come on, love, is it prawn stir-fry for dinner?
Prawn stir-fry actually sounds a bit like pronouns. I mean, I think they're trying to show, and we've seen there's other clips with this character where he is saying things about gay people or little people, whatever the correct term is for, medically small.
Yeah.
And there's
small.
not just a small person, like somebody who's got something, but. They're trying with this actual particular bit. I mean, I don't think the bit where there's a clip where he pushes a small person out of the way, just pushes their head.
Yeah.
And obviously, you shouldn't push
anyone
people around. You
unless they're irritating.
Especially
unless they're irritating.
No,
would that stand up in court? Would you throw soup on yourself as you were saying that?
Yeah. Small people are allowed to be irritated.
They're allowed to. Everyone is allowed to be irritated.
But the pronoun thing, I think, is completely right on.
I think this is good. I think this is exactly like soap should reflect reality, and we have got this disconnect. And I don't know about the kind of having a middle-aged man with a younger person, like the middle-aged man is such a dinosaur.
Isn't that prejudice itself?
Yeah, but it kind of is a reality out there, isn't it? I mean, it's a reality on this show. Let's face it. Like what we say, our younger people are not going to approve of the things that we say, and that is kind of what the show is describing. I think it's a good thing. I think the bigotry should be shown. I don't know why they should.
Do you think this is bigotry? I mean, the doctor is concerned that he won't be able to. It's going to delay the treatment because he's got to ask, no, what are you really when the person's non-binary?
Yeah, but okay, you just said I haven't seen the show, right? So as you said, he mentioned this, and it's also like picked on a small person and pushed them out the way. That's ableist. So he's obviously got bigotry like that. He's having a go at everyone.
Can I? But with this specific, go on.
No, all I was waiting to say was because my mum used to watch this religiously, and one of the receptionists married a cat. So, and I mean that quite sincerely. You can Google it and whatever. I think that's a bigger thing than someone going like, I need to do X and Y if I need to treat someone. A lot of people feel that way. Again, a woman married her cat. Yeah. I'm just going to leave that hanging. But that's also reality. Some people in America.
I feel that a lot of women have married their cat, to be honest.
Where?
Like, they've given up on men and they've decided to have the cat as the companion. And you know what? They're voting for Kamala Harris. Now, moving on, speaking of Kamala Harris, remember the second assassination attempt on Donald Trump? It's been completely memory-holed by the media, but the authorities have released a letter written by the second attempted assassin, Ryan Ruth. In it, he says, "This was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I am so sorry I failed you. I tried my best and gave it all the gumption I could muster. It is now up to you to finish the job, and I will offer $150,000 to whomever can complete the job." That's what's written in the letter by alleged gunman Ryan Wesley Ruth in the newly published note. Although before you holster up, I should point out that I doubt he'll be able to wire you the money from prison. Also, despite the political violence, political violence is bad. But what's interesting is that this letter or manifesto was released. Remember the transgender shooter, Audrey Hale, who killed children at a Christian school in Nashville? That manifesto wasn't released because it inconveniently went against the establishment narrative of trans people being eternal victims and gender ideology being a wonderful ideology that radiates kindness and tolerance. But the authorities said they didn't want to release that manifesto because it might spawn copycat killings. But they released the Trump Shooters Manifesto with a cash incentive to finish the job. Are they trying to get Trump killed?
Well, who had the note? Where was the note found?
I'm not sure, actually.
And is it legal to offer people in a note money to kill someone?
No, that's very criminal, but he's already going to jail, so maybe he doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, it's probably a last hurrah, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm surprised they broadcast it like that, because there's going to be some people out there who think, you know, it's like
exactly.
they can win that lottery.
I know, but the thing is, if it begs the question, if he had £150,000 spare, why didn't he just hire someone to do it in the first place?
Yeah.
For him, and he wouldn't end up in prison now, would he?
And he would have probably got it done. Now, there was an incredible story in The Telegraph this week of a British couple who tried to do the right thing and were punished by the authorities for doing so. BBC antiques dealer Jane Cave and her husband Ed Masters were returning from an antiques hunting expedition in France when they discovered an illegal immigrant hiding in their van. Mr. Masters reported the incident to the police himself and cooperated fully, but the UK Border Force still fined them £3,000 for unknowingly smuggling a migrant into the country. Mr. Masters was told that he should have informed the border authorities in France that there was an earlier attempt to get inside his van. But French authorities had searched the van apparently and failed to locate the illegal stowaway when they inspected the vehicle. The Telegraph report that in the weeks following the incident, Mr. Masters faced increased scrutiny from UK Border Force. He said he was detained 4 times at different airports, while his wife, who suffers from a rare neurological condition which makes travelling difficult, was left to carry heavy baggage on her own. Mr. Masters made the point that if I had just dropped him in a lay-by and not notified them, we would be £3,000 better off. It's utter madness. Now, I feel like Border Force always target the wrong people. Anytime I see, you know, people being deported, it's always like a 75-year-old guy from Jamaica who's been here for like 40 years, or it's, you know, people working in a nail salon. Nobody's worried about, you know, Vietnamese women. It's terrorists and stuff like that we...
It is. You've got to feel for this couple because, I mean, they were trying to do the right thing.
Yeah. Like
doing the law-abiding citizen thing. And actually, you know, talking about copycats, like, people. So people are watching this, like, news story. They're going to be thinking, well, you know, I've got someone who just jumped in my van. I'll just keep stum about that because I don't want to lose £3,000. And you know, I'm just saying there might be some copycat crimes actually committed after this.
It's like that saying, there's no situation that can't be made worse by getting the police involved.
I'm not familiar with that, but I'm going to write that down. What I'm worried about is, can you imagine on the Antiques Roadshow if someone brings a grandfather clock out and Fiona Bruce gets the surprise of her life when someone comes out of the clock?
An actual grandfather.
You've given another idea there.
Listen, I can't help it. You know, I'm busy.